Let's learn about paths and how we use them. A path is very easily generated in TrueSpace. Anytime you set keyframes, a path is generated. In this instance, movement keyframes. We don't normally see this path, we only see the object move along it. But we can see this path and manipulate it by pressing the path icon on the toolbar. TrueSpace will show the path in a 3D representation in our workspace. The path itself is made up of several parts. There's the white spline line that makes up the overall shape and placement of the path, and the little green cubes that represent the keyframes along the path. The Draw Path panel also comes up with a checkbox for frames. With this enabled, the individual frames that make up the in-between frames between the keyframes will be displayed along the spline line. These markers indicate where the axis of the object will be at a particular frame. With all handles enabled, you will see all of the control handles for each of the spline points or the keyframes. With it disabled, only the currently selected point will show its control handles. The segments input and spinner allow you to set the number of in-between frames that will be generated when you manually draw out a path, as we'll show in a moment. There's also a context-sensitive toolbar that comes up, which by default is in the point move mode. By left-clicking on one of the green cubes or the keyframe points, you can left-click and drag to move this point anywhere you desire on the XY plane. You may also right-click and drag to move the point vertically on the Z-axis. We'll play this animation to show you just how the object follows the path. By left-clicking and dragging on one of the end points of the control handles, you can easily shape your path to whatever you desire. By stretching or compressing the handles, you influence how the in-between frames will be placed. To show this a little bit better, let's move to the end point, and as I extend and retract the control handle, see how the in-between frames tend to stretch out or bunch up toward the keyframe point. Remember, when there are more frames, there is more time. So where there are many frames in the path, that is an area in which the object will move slower and take more time to travel. The next button on our toolbar is the Draw Path Point tool. By clicking this and then clicking in the workspace, you will effectively extend the current path by as many frames as is specified in the Segments section in the Draw Path panel. You may interactively lay out your path in the 3D workspace.